a really tricky lesson today, Year 5. And it's going to require 2 skills. The first one is to be able to simplify. Okay, so we need to simplify fractions. The second skill is then looking for the links to 100, because remember, percent is per 100. So let's take a look at a couple of examples that you're going to come across today with the denominators. So I've got 60 over 250, and I'm being asked to find what percentage that is. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is simplify it, and I see that both end in 0. So the obvious thing to do would be to divide them both by 10. So 60 divided by 10 is 6, 250 divided by 10 is 25. So that's the first skill that I've done. I've simplified it, and I can't actually simplify it any further. The next thing is to think about our relationship to 100. Well, if you remember yesterday, 25 squares was a quarter of it. So I'm going to draw around 25 squares. So that's there. So for every 25 squares, I must colour in 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I'm going to draw around another 25 squares. And again, I will colour in 6. Then I'm going to draw around another 25 squares, and I'll colour in 6. Oh, and look over here, there's another 25 squares, so again I'm going to colour in another 6. So what have I actually done there? Well, I've found an equivalent fraction. I've thought, there's 25. I'm going to turn that into 100. How do I turn 25 into 100? I times by 4. Well, whatever I do to the denominator, I must also do to the numerator. 6 times by 4 is 24. So I should have 24 squares coloured. 6, 12, 18, 24. Yes, I do. So, well, for every 25 squares, 6 are coloured. So 6 per 25. So what would that be as 100? Well, for every 100, 24 squares are coloured. There are 24 per 100, 24%. So 60 over 250 is equivalent to 24%. Here now, 36 over 150. Well, I'm going to think of a common factor for both of these. And if I do that, it suddenly becomes a little bit easier. Well, I know 15, 36, they both appear in the 3 times tables. So that's how I'm going to simplify them. I'm going to divide the numerator and denominator by 3. So 36 divided by 3 would give me 12. 150 divided by 3, well, 15 divided by 3 would give me 5, so 150 divided by 3 gives me 50. So now we're saying 12 per 50 squares are coloured. Let's have a look what that will look like on here. So for every 50, 12 are coloured. But we're not interested in per 50, we're interested in percent per 100. So again, I think, well, how do I turn? It's the equivalent fraction, how do I find it? I need to turn 50 into 100. How do I do that? I times by 2. Whatever I do to the denominator, I must also do to the numerator. 12 times 2 gives me 24. Well, let's take a look there. In this first 50, I coloured 12. In the next 50, I'll colour 12. Therefore, per 100, 24 are coloured. That must mean it's 24%. So, 36 over 150 is equivalent to 24%. Remember, we simplified and then we found the link back to 100. The next one now, 45 over 180. Again, I need to simplify. I need to think, which times table do both of these appear in? Oh, I'm just going to turn that into, I'm going to unitize it, I'm going to turn it into 18 to make it easier. 45, 18, which times table do they both appear in? 9. Definitely both in the 9s. So, I will simplify and divide both the numerator and denominator by 9. 45 divided by 9 is 5. Well, 18 divided by 9 would equal 2, but we're not doing 18, we're doing 180, so it'll be 20. So, now I've got 5 20ths. So we've done the first step, we have simplified. Now is the second step to find that relationship with 100. Well, so 5 per 20 squares are coloured. 3 per 20, the next 20, so that would be 120, that would be 20 there. Well, then the next 20, I could go on. So I need to make, I want to be per 100%. So I need to think, how do I turn 20 into 100? Well, I times by 5. Whatever I do to the denominator, I must also do to the numerator. 5 times 5 is 25. So 25 per 100 would be coloured. 25%. Let's check that here. Let's colour 5 in the next 20. Let's colour 5 in the next 20. And let's colour 5 here in the next 20. And there again. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 have been coloured. So it's 25%. Simplify, find the link back to 100. Remember, it's percent, it's out of 100. Okay? Tricky one. Again, if you need help, log into Google Classroom, and best of luck.